to my VIPKid classroom. My name is Teacher Anna. I teach for VIPKid, and if you don't know what that is, it's an online teaching program where you actually teach from the comforts of your home kids that are in China, and it's all in English, so it's a pretty good deal. When I first started looking, I wasn't actually even looking for myself. I was helping my son look for a job, and I found VIPKid, and it said that I only needed to be available 7.5 hours a week, and I could make up to $22 an hour. And as a retired teacher, I thought, well, that would be a fun hobby. I could do that and make some extra money. And so I looked into it a bit further. And so at the time, I've been teaching now for 1 year. And so at the time, the criteria was to have a bachelor's degree or higher, to be able to teach in the United States or Canada, to have at least 2 years of some sort of teaching experience, and then they preferred that you have a teaching credential, but if not, now here's the change. It wasn't mandatory before, but now if you don't have a teaching credential, then you need to get a certificate, which is kind of like an ESL, second language learner type certificate. Anyways, it's still pretty easy as long as you've got that education and teaching experience, then you really don't have a problem. So I thought, okay, I meet the criteria, I'm going to follow through with this. August 18th of last year, I went ahead and signed up for my first interview, and they send you material that helps you get ready for this interview, because you're kind of like auditioning. When you go through the first interview, you'll talk to a person who kind of asks you about your experience, and then you do kind of a little lesson. And so this person pretends to be a child from China, and you're encouraged to use a lot of props, a background, a lot of hand motions, smiling faces, kind of like over the top. And so if you're not an over the top type person, it doesn't come natural. It's a little bit harder, but the more you do it, and especially when it's a live kid, it becomes a lot easier. So after I think it was like 10 minutes the first time, after this little mini session, then you go back to the person becomes the person and not the child, and I was offered the position, and you're offered the pay based on your level of experience and your level of education. So the next step is to then schedule a mock interview, a mock lesson. It's a pretend lesson. Again, the person pretends to be a child from China learning English, and you go through this lesson, and they mail you this lesson in advance, but you still have to kind of come up with your props and you figure out what you're going to do and when you're going to do it and remember it, and so it's kind of tricky in that way. But you meet with a live person. You do maybe 5 minutes speaking with them, like a 10-minute lesson, and then another 10 minutes at the end where they can give you some feedback on your lesson, which is really helpful. And then you get an email. Did you pass or did you not pass? And I didn't pass the first time, which I think is pretty common, because you have no experience and you have no training. As far as even as a retired teacher, I didn't have any ESL. Well, I had ESL, but I didn't have any kind of experience for online teaching, or acting experience. It almost feels like. So the first one was very helpful because I had all this feedback of what I needed to do, and I kind of had a sense, but since you're nervous and everything, it's hard to remember everything. So I kind of had a sense of what I needed to do anyways. And then a couple days later, I scheduled the second interview, and I passed. And then they sent me, you passed, and here's the feedback, here's what you did, and then they send me a contract offer. Went ahead and uploaded all my important papers, a profile picture, a profile video. I did my background check, my tax forms, and so just filled all that out and signed my contract. September 3rd, I taught my first class, and it was really cool. I liked it. And a couple days later, I had 3 more classes. Now remember, I only wanted this part-time, and so people who come in and really want to do this full-time, if you come in during holidays like Chinese New Year, times where the kids are on vacation and not in school, or if you come during the summer, maybe July, August, where there's slower times of the year, you're going to get discouraged if you don't all of a sudden have this packed schedule. But then remember, there's other times of the year where it's super busy, and if you wanted to do those crazy hours, overnighters, you could work a lot of hours. I mean, I hear stories of people making $2,000, $4,000, $7,000 a month. So it is possible. I mean, it's a real deal. Again, you just have to work those crazy hours. I only wanted, maybe 12 to 15 hours a week, and originally, only the 7.5 hours. And so I opened up 30 slots. So by my second week of actual, once I started teaching that second week, my schedule was full with all the slots that I wanted. And I had started teaching at 4 o'clock in the morning and taught, so they're half-hour classes, 25 minutes for a class, and then an extra 5 minutes that you get in between. So they're half-hour blocks. And so 4, 4:30, 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30. And then maybe even some evening slots I was doing at the time. Now I'm kind of just doing mornings because I was having some trouble with the internet. And you really do have to have good internet. In America, we use the internet a lot in the evening. So if there's an overflow of internet usage, your internet stability may not be so good. So internet is important. Having good headphones is important. A good camera is important, and a good computer, because you have to be able to download the VIPKid app. You can use an iPad as well. The app is available through the iPad. Anyways, so I got started. I started working, and I love it. I get to open up my camera in the morning and see these little faces. So even when I'm like, okay, I'm up, as soon as I turn the camera on, I see the little kids there. I love it. And I do teach the younger kids. So they're young, 5, 6-year-olds. And so they're so cute. But anyways, I love it. I hope that this video kind of gives you an idea of what VIPKid is if you're interested in a position. I've put my referral link at the bottom in the description box. So if you're interested, check it out. And good luck. Happy teaching. Bye.